Hello, Billy Core from the Carolina Circle Mall Wiki. It's Wednesday, August 7th of 2013, and here I am with part 2 of my FAQ answer video. We'll see how far we can go with this, because I got a few other videos planned for today, so I need to make time for them as well. But we will start off where we left off with our first question for today. Ugh, stupid Burger King. 50 lightsabers in a pack, interesting name, asked, what is the first operating system you ever used? How old were you when you first used it, and if you could use it as your default operating system nowadays, would you? Well, the first operating system I ever used was, believe it or not Windows 95. I've probably mentioned this before, but you see when, hold on here. What a surprise. As is tradition, Chris just messaged me. Back in the summer of 1995, my aunt, introduced me to her Gateway 2000 desktop computer that she got that year. This was the first time I ever saw a computer to begin with. And that computer was running Windows for Workgroups 3.11. So, technically that was the first operating system I ever used. I didn't use Windows 95 until we got the 822, Packard Bell 822 in December of that year. And how old were you? How old was I when I first used it? Well, I was 5 years old. And if you could use it as your default operating system nowadays, would you? Well, Windows 3.11 and pretty much any Windows 3.1x series operating system is great and nostalgic, but let's be honest here. It's from 1992. It's 21 years old. But I'm not saying it's a bad OS. It's actually one of my all-time favorite operating systems, but it's just too old to be used as a modern-day operating system. Mr. Classic Nick 94 asked, I have an idea for a video. What about that petition to bring Carolina Circle Mall back? Well, I believe you're the one that started that petition. I am so glad you did that. It's great to see so many people who's never even been to Carolina Circle Mall or even to Greensboro before care so much about this mall like I do. But unfortunately, I really don't think a petition's going to bring back Carolina Circle Mall because, well, it was torn down for one thing, and there's a Walmart in its place now. And to bring the Carolina Circle Mall back, you'd be dealing with city council stuff, all kinds of politics, which is way over my head. So, thank you for the effort, definitely, but just don't get your hopes up. Michael Teaches asks, what's your favorite book of all time? Well, to be perfectly honest, I've never really been much of a book person. I can read and everything, but reading is and a book and everything. I just don't have the patience to do it. I guess you could say I like the Bible, of course, but other than that, I just really don't have the patience to finish a book. And Michael Teaches also asked, oh boy, it's a college question. Also, do you have a degree in computer science? If you haven't been to college, would you want to go? If so, what do you want to pursue? Well, I'm planning on starting college sometime in winter or spring of 2014, so we'll see where that goes. And computer science is actually a something I'm actually interested in. I'll either do that or computer information technology, whatever I feel suits me best. And yes, I do want to go to college, although I am kind of scared of it. Unfortunately, it's the college atmosphere is not for me, but I gotta do it anyway. And oh boy, this is okay, folks. When I was reading these questions the other week, when they were all finished and everything, everyone was telling me that this was the best question out of all of them. So we'll see here. IBM ThinkPad R51 asked, do you like beans? Well, I like some beans. I don't like mushy beans like refried beans that you get at Taco Bell. But I like baked beans, I guess. I like jelly beans, and I don't know why I'm answering this question. And okay, our next question is, hold on. Adam Norden asked, "Hi, what is your favorite operating system?" Well, I think I've answered this a few times already, but I'll go ahead and answer it again. It would have to be Windows 95. It's what I grew up using in the 90s, and overall it's a very solid OS, and it's the bare minimal, the bare basics. You got your simple little start menu, which was first invented for that operating system, and it's just a very fun operating system to play with, and it's very nostalgic to me. Okay, Camille Rakowski asked, "Hi Billy, I've been watching your videos since May 8, 2010. What's your utmost favorite modern PC?" Oh me, that's a hard one. Well, I really like the new Dell Latitudes they've come out with lately. I forget the model numbers, but they're built very, very well, and they just look absolutely sweet. And they got a lot of power and a punch to them, so it's pretty much, if you're going to get a laptop, that's what I'd get. And my favorite classic PC, well, there it is, the Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT. Okay, here we go with another multi-question one. MeTech 101, his first question is, how did you get the name Road Geek? That's a very good question. When I was about 13 or 14 years old, I was really into roads. By that I mean I like collecting road maps. I liked taking pictures of road signs. I would get excited when a new road would open up, and I called myself Road Geek. It was a term a lot of people like me had used to describe themselves. People who like roads, Road Geek. And as you know, if you see my Why I Like Nostalgia So Much video, in 2005 when I was 15, my interest in roads got pushed aside due to my new interest in 90s nostalgia. But even though my main interest is in nostalgia these days, it's been that way for 8 years now, the name Road Geek is just stuck, and plus I really can't change my YouTube name, can I? And his second question is, what is the computer you cannot live without? Well, I would have to say I'm going to have to twist this up a little bit, because it's actually 3 computers I have that I can't live without. I can't live without my 2013 custom built right here, which you can't see at the moment. I can't live without my Dell Latitude D630. And this is probably the 20th time I pointed at this computer today, and of course I can't live without this Packard Bell over here. Okay, his third question is, why did you become a pastor? Well, I'm not a pastor yet. That's not going to happen for another at least 5 years or so, but the reason I decided to do it was because, well, I felt that God was telling me that, well, my calling in life is to use my knowledge of technology and computers to spread God's message, and most importantly, God's love. So it's just something I'm really passionate about, and I feel that because of that I really need to become a pastor and be a minister to do that, and just reach out to people, because I want to show people that the best love in the world is God's love, and I'm not kidding about that. His last question is, what is your favorite video game? Well, another hard one. Well, at the time of this recording, my newest game console is a Nintendo 64 that I bought new in 1997. I would have to say maybe one of the Mario games, maybe Super Mario 64, and maybe Mario Kart 64. Now that's a good racing game. And I'm starting to enjoy the Sonic games again, since I got a Sega Genesis this past Christmas, which I need to find a place for. Okay. And Jack Curis asked, have you had any interest in the pre-Windows 95 operating systems? Well, I am interested in just one at the moment, and that's the Windows 3.1 X series of operating systems, because it was the first one I ever used and ever saw. And plus, it's a lot of fun to mess around with. You got the program manager, you can tinker with the colors and appearance and everything, and the games from that era are really interesting. Okay. Efoids asked, is Windows 95 your favorite OS? Well, I mentioned this several times, but yes, it certainly is. It's very nostalgic for me. Okay, Jake Sampson asked, why did you keep your video equipment from your childhood? Well, around the time I was getting into nostalgia, my parents were thinking about throwing away that old RCA video camera from 1990. Well, even though it didn't work, and it still doesn't work, I figured, hey, one day I'm going to get this camera fixed. So I kept it, and I've had it ever since. Right now it's in my closet, awaiting further repairs. I think there's a capacitor problem with it or something, blown caps. I still need to learn to solder and figure out how to open the camera itself up. And as for the JVC that you saw the other week, the one from 1996, well, I kept it simply because it still works. You can still do a lot with it. In fact, I'm actually considering figuring out a way to hook it up to my computer through my TV tuner card and use it as a sort of a camera for my Rockin' Waves shows on Vaughn Live and Ustream. So we'll see where that goes. Okay. DG Television Network asked, what is your thought on FAQ videos? Well, I guess I like them since I'm making one as we speak. And on a more serious note, what would you do if you heard that Carolina Circle Mall was being rebuilt? Well, after I changed my pants from the shock, I would probably pass out. But seriously, I would be incredibly excited. Because I grew up going to that mall and I really miss it. And it was just an overall good mall and a good place to hang out and have fun. Okay, before we get to the next question, Mr. Mental 6001 asked, he has two questions. Can you make a video of how to use an OS selector? Well, I'm actually planning on doing that at some point. I have Partition Commander and System Commander, I believe it's called, as well as a Cronus OS selector from the early 2000s. I use that all the time to dual boot my computers, and I haven't done it in a while, but I can certainly make a video for you if you would like. And he also asks, what is your personal opinion on Windows NT 4.0 Workstation? Well, I've used it a couple of times. The early NT operating systems from Microsoft I've never really had much of an interest in, but mainly because they're a little hard to set up at times, and sometimes you have to kick it a couple of times to do what you want. But they're good operating systems, but I've never really done much with them. Plus, the thing I don't like about Windows NT 4 Workstation is that even though it came out around the same time as Windows 95, and the environment and shell is based off of Windows 95, there's no hardware plug and play, which kind of seals the fate for it for me, so to say. Okay, Mr. Quinaloo 94 asked, Do you like playing on arcade consoles such as the Atari Jaguar, Sega Mega Drive, etc.? Yes, I do. I actually own several at the moment. I have a Super Nintendo, a Sega Genesis, a Nintendo 64, and a Nintendo NES from the 80s, which needs a new game connector, but I love them. I love the old video games. I really don't talk about them that much, mainly because computer games are more up my alley, I guess you could say. Okay, North Hank Spin asked, oh boy, they're about my parents. How come your parents never make an appearance in your videos or even in the background? Well, I guess they're a little camera shy, plus there's really no reason for them to be in any of my videos. No offense to them, it's just I really don't have a calling for them. And do your parents support your YouTube activities? Why, yes, they do. I remember about a year ago when this whole bullying thing was going on and all the trolls were doing their thing. I was thinking about leaving YouTube for good, and my dad said, don't do it, don't let them win. So obviously my parents do support me on YouTube. Okay, Billy WLOL asked, do you have an Apple computer? Yes, I certainly do. I have an Apple Power Mac G3, which needs a little bit of work, plus another Power Mac which is put up in storage at the moment, which does work, which yes, I'll make a video on it soon. Don't worry. He also asked, do you like RC Cola? I've had it a few times. I guess it's pretty good. I've never really had it in a long time, but from what I remember, it is pretty good. And his last question is, do you have a computer that runs Windows 3.11? Why, yes, I do. It's kind of off camera. It's under the 822, but I got my Packard Bell Legend 402 CD KVM to it, and I use it as my main Windows 3.1 machine, which I need to make another video of sometime to show you guys. Okay, the normal MC Gamer asked, when and how did you get interested in the Carolina Circle Mall? I'm going to save that question for a video I was planning to make tonight. So it will be answered, but just in a separate video, so don't worry. Thirsty today. Okay, Oliver Kelly asks, favorite computer keyboard? Well, that's kind of hard to say. I've never really been too interested in keyboards, but as long as they're comfortable and are sturdy, they're pretty. I like them. Get it off the tripod, and I'll show you the keyboard I use on my main computer, the 2013 custom built. It's one of these bad boys, a 1992 IBM Model M. Gotta love it. Got it for a steal too about a year ago. It was only like $2 at a thrift store over in Burlington. Okay, Alpha Wolf Cody 2 Roblox asked, What your favorite computer? It would have to be any kind of mid-90s Packard Bell, I guess, mainly for nostalgia, plus for a mid-90s gaming computer. They've got all you want. They've got the perfect amount of power, the right build quality, and they can take a licking and keep on going. And I got that saying wrong, didn't I? The Power Mac, my good friend, the Power Mac Galaxy asked, Packard Bell or Packard Dell? Oh no. Oh boy, you just had to go there, didn't you? I really don't know how to answer that. But I will answer it like maybe you were asking, maybe do I like Packard Bell or Dell better? Well, For 90s computers, it would be Packard Bell. For 2000s, it would definitely be plain old Dell, because that's all I bought in the 2000s, and especially my Dell Dimension 2350. Dells from that era are very, very sturdy. They have a lot of capability to them, and they'll do just about anything you want to ask. Except unless it's illegal. Okay, Taylor Gagnon asked, have you ever used a Macintosh computer? Boy, I'm getting a lot of those questions. Yes, I have a Power Mac G3 which needs work, and a Power Mac from the mid to late 90s out in storage right now. So yes, I've only had them for about 8 months now, but they do work quite well. Okay, Let's Player 247 asked, if you ever bought a Mac, what Mac would you get? It would probably be a MacBook Pro, the one without the Retina display, so I can have an optical drive. Although I'm really in no hurry to get one. If someone were to give me one, I would gladly take it, of course, but they're so expensive. So I think I'll just stick to PC for now. Okay, Sonic5741 has several questions. I got a lot to ask. Where do I start? Well, that question I can't answer, but I'll go to the next one. What's your favorite operating system next to Windows 95? Well, it would definitely be Windows XP. It was the one I used throughout the 2000s, and still to this day I think it's one of the most stable operating systems Microsoft ever put out. And even how long has it been? 12 years after its initial release, it can still be used for pretty much anything these days. And when its support ends next year, I'm still going to use it on a few computers. I have no reason to get rid of it anytime soon. It's perfect for computers from the 2000s. Best nostalgic laptop you have ever owned? Well, my Dell Latitude CP was really nice, but it sadly suffered a power issue a few months ago and is no longer with us, but I am looking into buying an old compact Armada, one of the white trimmed ones from the mid to late 90s, from a friend of mine sometime soon, which I'm hoping will be really nice. And he also asked, is it possible to show if it's even remotely possible to dual boot Windows 95 and 98? Well, to answer your question, yes, it is very possible to do that. I did that the other day on a computer as an experiment, and I will see if I can make a video about that sometime. But yes, it is possible to do that. Alright, this is going to be the last question for today, since I got other videos I need to make today. Oh boy, this is another hard name. Wisselabishnai asked, what do you think about modern game consoles like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3? I don't like them. And there's a good reason for that. It's the games. Pretty much all console games these days are first-person shooters, and the same thing, I guess, can go for computers as well. I've never liked first-person shooters. I don't like blood. I don't like gore. I just feel, even when it's a game, I feel uncomfortable shooting a person or shooting a zombie or whatever. And I just really don't see the fun in any of that. My favorites will always be the classic platformers like Mario and Sonic, which is why if I was to get a modern game console, it would definitely be a Nintendo Wii, because it seems like these days Nintendo is about the only video game company that still makes decent family-friendly games. So I don't like the Xbox 360 or PS3, but I do like the Wii. But that will have to do it for today. I will be making more videos today, all about Carolina Circle Mall, actually, so I hope you stay tuned for that, and I hope I answered all your questions like you had hoped. So this is Billy Core signing off on Wednesday, August 7th of 2013. Goodbye.